they might say, "Oh, that's too bad."
Well, we're here at the Shamrock 2025 match in Dublin, Georgia. I've got Hall of Famers Harley Baker and Jeff Summers here, and we're going to go through a few things. First and foremost, we had to set flags this afternoon for preparation of our match tomorrow morning for the start of the light varmint 100 yard. And setting wind flags, we want to just take you through the basics. And we'll have both Harley and Jeff share their perspective on what they like to do for setting flags. What is their goal? How many flags you're putting out? Where are you putting the flags? So let's first start off. How many flags do you normally use at 100 yard ag?
Personally, I like to use 4 flags at 100 yards.
Okay.
6 at 200 yards.
Jeff?
Yes, 4 flags at 100 yards, 6 at 200. We're good.
Would you agree that there's a recent trend to add a 5th flag close to the bench, maybe 5-10 yards away?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And actually, we have one a little closer than we would normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Just to pick up, we've got a open spot here, and we're trying to pick up that open spot.
Okay.
As far as it goes.
Yeah, it just seems as the sports evolve that we recognize that first flag, how important it is.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
yes.
And normally that 20-yard flag, you may miss some change
You're
coming
20
from an
yards out,
angle.
yes.
Right, so having a 10-yard flag is advantageous. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
That's correct. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, normally there's several ways to set flags. What a lot of people used to do, as you guys might agree or recall, that from the 80-yard flag, it would go over to the bench to the left. So you would have pretty much a pretty strong angle from the front of your first flag or last flag out there at 80 yards to the bench to the left. The only problem, I think, as the game evolved, people realized that it looked good. It was easy to read flags when you had a left or right condition where the flag tails were blowing towards you. However, where we started getting right to left, then the flag tails,
Everything's moved away.
yeah, it was blocked. So the angle that a lot of people used to use, where they used from 80 yards to the bench to the left, now we're seeing much more of a straighter angle where we start. The 80-yard flag is generally placed right below your target.
Yes.
And then you have a very slight angle now, not from the corner of the bench,
No.
but from the actual corner of the rest.
Quarter of the rest.
This allows you to see equally when you have a right to left condition or left to right.
Correct.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
You're
That's right.
absolutely
Because
correct, Jack. Yes.
legally, I'm only allowed halfway between that bench to my right and halfway to the one to my left. That's my
Your lane,
I
you're
can
right.
put my flags in. But the real wide angle seems to have went away.
Yeah.
Over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. It's more of a straight line, and now I can see all my flags.
Let's talk about flag height, which also has evolved. It used to be there was a propensity from shooters to have all the flags the same height. And I think over time, you guys give me your perspective, have we seen the stair-step method where the last flag, your 80-yard flag, or at 100, at 200, the 150, every flag got shorter in height to where you could easily
has.
see with that
Yes, it
stair-step?
has.
Yes. What I want to see when I set these up originally, I want to see when I have the 80-yard flag, when I come to the 60, I want to see the whole 80-yard over the top of the 60. I do not want I don't want to hide part of that because now I lose that easy little shift as the flags move. And trust me, that's when you're going to see a difference.
The little change, and
Yes,
that's so
it's
important.
exactly what you're saying, Jack. You brought it up, the stair-step method. That's exactly what we're trying to see. We want to see the stair-step so we can see everything.
Okay. Now, what a lot of our viewers are going to want to know, and this is a $1 million question, say it's fairly windy out, which it is right now, Friday evening. You sit down, they say commence fire, you have 7 minutes to put 5 shots on your record target for either the sport or the light varmint or heavy varmint classes. When do both of you, as Hall of Fame shooters and been shooting for many years, when do you say, this is the time I want to start my group? What are those conditions? What are your key pieces?
One important thing that most shooters miss when they're setting up their bench, this is before the match begins. They're setting up their bench. You're going to concentrate on this, but start to watch out there because you don't want to be lulled into that little bitty just let up that just holds for 2 or 3 seconds and goes away. Start watching. Start watching. As I put my rear bag down, I'm watching. As I put the rifle up, I'm watching. I'm starting to get a feel for the air on me, the air on my legs, the air right around here, and I start watching.
Right.
All the time, just paying attention. Where am I getting violent pickups? Where am I getting let-ups? Where am I getting reverses? Right now, out at 80 yards, that green is starting to concern me. And I'll start to play the game before the 7 minutes ever begins. Once I make the decision, I'm usually looking for 2 conditions. Number one, the major. If you can see the flags right now, on a whole, the major condition is red. All right, but see this first flag, and see all of a sudden now I start to pay it. What's my major condition, and what's my minor condition?
So the dominant condition.
The dominant.
When we've been sitting here talking, we've saw the right to left red condition, if you will.
Exactly.
Right. And now we've see that green has come in for a little bit of a quartering tailwind to a crosswind.
Now, very important when you get ready to start to read wind flags, you have to understand your gun, your zero. Where do you expect that bullet to hit? And we'll get into that a little bit later, but right now we're talking about the wind. So I'm looking for 2 conditions as I set my bench up. Jeff?
Right.
Yes. No, exactly. We're looking toward the predominant condition, and it's kind of switching now, but there's some orange. Right now it's orange, but there's some green that comes in.
Right.
So we have to find a condition, whether it be green
That's
or
most
orange.
dominant.
Right now it would be predominant,
Yep.
And you try to find something.
If you can see that green flag, see how it's just starting to roll red?
Right.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden I got my red.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
would you also, as a tip for our viewers, a lot of times that 80 or that front 10-yard flag will give you your first indicator of direction change,
Yes.
where you'll see the 80-yard flag maybe go green like it is right now. That could indicate the field changing towards left or right condition where we've been enjoying, say, a right to left dominant condition. So that's always just a heads up of a condition change. When you see either the close or that far flag start to reverse. So it tells you what might be coming. Another thing, and what is your perspective when you have a larger match where you have several relays, an important match, don't you feel that it's helpful to get behind the spotting scope and get a feel for what that dominant wind is, so you're not surprised when you do sit down, during the match?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're not trying to shoot a left or right condition
Right.
when it's right to left.
Correct.
Okay?
Now-
And also, if I may,
Sure.
you also see at lunchtime, a lot of times, you'll see wind pick up, or maybe you've enjoyed that right to left that we've been seeing while we've been sitting here in that red condition go away, and maybe that wind starts to change in the afternoon,
Oh, yes,
left or
It
right.
always does. It always does.
Yep.
Always
So
keep an
you
eye
have to
out.
be prepared for that.
Exactly.
All right, and both of you guys, we'll start with Jeff first. Jeff, you're sitting here with your rifle. The match has started. What do you do first to shoot a sighter, or what condition do you look for
Well, I like
before?
to find what the predominant condition is.
Okay.
And personally, and that is me, personally, I like to shoot an angle.
Okay.
An angle condition. Whether it be green, orange, I like to shoot an angle.
Now, for our viewers, an angle means like a 7:30, a 10:30,
Yes,
a 2 o'clock,
exactly.
a
You are
4
correct.
o'clock, just a little
But
bit.
my feeling there is you do not get the bullet does not move as much. If you're a straight on
A full
90,
value,
a full
3
value wind as it would an angle, and,
Right.
and that's what I try to find. And then I feel you need to try to find that when you're shooting sighters and stuff. versus a full value. You need to find where you are going to, I guess, lose your group, the bigger group. You're wanting to find the least impact on your group. That's what I'm always hunting for. What is it going to? How much is it going to move? How much is it going to move the bullet? How much is it going to? You need to try to find something that is going to move it the least.
Because in our game, with a right twist barrel, with the red condition, that bullet's going to go left, of course, because the wind's pushing it left, but it's also going to go up. With the green condition, as it swings around,
right.
It's going to go to the right and it's going to go down. Now, the better the tune, the better the barrel, the more you are in touch with it, you'll be able to compensate when you're going to hold, and we'll get into that in a couple minutes. But right now, that bullet is definitely going to go right, and it's going to go down. If it comes more around full value, it's going to even go farther down and farther out. So we're playing this game. A lot of people say in group shooting, well, the first shot is free. Honestly, they don't understand our game because when I'm starting, one of these things at some time, Jack's going to say, game's on and 7 minutes has started. I've got to expect my first bullet, not the sighter, the Fowler, excuse me, not the Fowler, but the sighter. When I see that red, I know where my gun's zeroed. I'm going to expect that bullet to be at least at 100 yards within a half a bullet of where I expect. If it's not, I've got to say what happened.
Okay, great feedback. So for our viewers out there, let's talk a little bit about going to the sighter and where a lot of times that's a waste of a bullet, where you should trust your instinct once you start your group, where you see a subtle change, and going to the sighter a lot of times could be a wasted shot, where if you would have trusted your instinct, you could have held to the right, left, and as your skill increases, you'll start applying just a little bit of an apex hold down to the right for a pickup of right to left condition, or red condition as we call it, or in that green left or right condition, we're going to start holding left and high for that down to the right push. The left or right condition will do.
All right, so right now we got almost a full value crosswind. All right, and I start my group in that. Tails are down, a little bit of a push. I think I could handle it. I go. So I touch the trigger. Now you see the back end of the range. The angle's starting to change. So that bullet is going to go a little bit high. And it's not going to go as far to the left. So I have to start to hold. See how the angle has changed? Now I'm not fully shooting a full value crosswind. I'm shooting an angled wind. So now I have to know the tune of my rifle. I have to start to hold down. As it goes into a tailwind, I like to shoot hitting my aim point. So where my dot is at in zero conditions or very, very mild conditions, I should hit it. So as it comes around, I'll know how to hold for my gun.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, I'm right there with you, Harley. We're looking at it's kind of, the conditions that kind of, well, you say, I say this thing, and then it kind of clips around there, but you always continually have to look at the conditions.
Look at the tails picking up.
It's always changing.
Okay.
Maybe, but it's easing up again. So, we got a little green. Oh, my goodness. The bullet's going to go down a little bit. So, you always have to watch, pick and choose where you're going to shoot this stuff at. It's still a little, okay, we're doing a little angle. Okay, we're doing some light orange. Oh, I like this right here. I really like this right here. So, the front flags are, coming on around. But, wait on it. Let's wait on, we come around a little more on the right. Let's hold up here.
Okay.
Let's hit this angle. I like to try to hit the angle. Personally, that's what I like to do. I think you may, but okay, we're full
value.
Let's kind of wait a little bit. See what happens.
Now,
What happens.
if you are looking to go down to the cider, you started in that angled push, and you're down to 30 seconds to go with 3 shots. Now, I have to decide. Do I go down to the cider? Do I trust my gun and say I could hold for that? Or do I go down to the cider and say, all right, what do I need to do? I know I'm going to have to go to the right, and I'm going to have to go a little bit lower or a little bit higher. And you have to make that decision like that.
Okay, real important question here that a lot of people want to know.
Yes.
Is that how much change does the flag or the intensity angle of the flag have to make before you stop, before you stop or you hold? And again, as you acquire skill, you're going to start shooting off your last shot where you're holding for what you see.
Especially.
But how much are you willing to hold off to finish your group? Where is that tipping point to picking through the condition versus, all right, I'm going to keep shooting by holding for the angle to maybe go from a 5 o'clock tailwind to full value crosswind 3 o'clock? Or conversely, if you get headwind, tailwind, at what point do you start or stop holding off?
That's a tough question. I personally don't like to hold at 100 yards more than one bullet.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
More than one bullet.
Exactly.
If I have to go more than that,
You'll put the brakes on and stop.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop right
Jeff,
Stop
are you
there.
the same opinion?
Exactly. I'm
Okay.
just like Harley. I do not like to hold more than a bullet.
Okay.
And if it's going to be more than that, let's stop. Let's stop. Let's wait for the condition to change.
Right.
And it's going to change.
Right.
It's going to change. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Okay. One of the things that we've always heard from people is that, hey, I just don't know if I should be a picker or a runner. And a lot of that is skill-based.
Yes.
That
Absolutely.
when your skill improves, you can be more of a runner where you hold off on your last shot. Jeff, you're obviously with your 4 super shoot wins, you've done a tremendous job where we watched you.
I love to be a runner.
Right.
But sometimes, and this is a range, it's hard to do that because it's constantly changing. You have to look what the flags are doing, what's going on. It's constantly changing, and you need to kind of. And with experience, you guys keep shooting this stuff. It changes. Right now we're getting more. It's a lighter, but
Lighter, lot lighter.
It's still full value.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to shoot siders and figure out where you're going to be. Maybe it's looking pretty. I mean, it's getting kind of consistent. You got to look at consistency.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Harley? How do you go to that?
With I usually, when I sit down, I'm looking at the conditions and saying, after a while, after you've shot for a while, you'll be able to look at it and go, you should be able to shoot a 1 in these conditions.
Okay.
All right. If you're not shooting 1s, then you have to look at, are you missing something, or is it the tune of the rifle, which we'll get into another episode. But if it's really switchy, I mean, the wind is jumping around, my recommendation, get your fowler out of the way, get a sighter in something, and then start early in your group. At least get a shot, maybe 2 shots in the first couple minutes. Now all I got to do is put 3 shots down there, and I could pick my way through. Love to run it, but picking if it's rolling around, there's no way you're going to run that. No way.
Exactly.
You're gonna have 3 and a bullet sticking out to the side. You're gonna have a 1 down at the bottom, and you got to be careful as you get more anxious. What starts to happen? You start to lean up into the gun. You start to
gun handling,
trying to force that thing in. And as Jack will talk in the future about, it is not hope it in. If it's going to go, it's going to go, and that's when you touch the trigger. But as you can see, just
Here we go.
It's switching around.
It's switching around. It's easing up.
and now I got 10 seconds and I got a shot to go.
That's right.
I don't have time to go to the cider.
Okay.
I have to shoot in a reverse.
Here we go.
All right, and
It's
a
gonna
great
go down.
segue. Let's talk about time management.
Okay.
First off, you know it's going to be a windy day, maybe weather, rain, whatever might be coming in, and you see that you came up to the match before, and you stood there and watched people shoot. You watched conditions, and you really did not see that proverbial let up to where maybe you could get your 5 record shots off, and it's been nasty. You really have not seen that great period of a let up. Let's talk about how late you will wait in that 7-minute period of your match to where you need to start your group. Wouldn't you recommend, and just not leading you guys, but want your feedback, at what point in that match do you wait for 3 minutes left, maybe 2 minutes left, or a minute left? Where do you see that there should be some activity with sighters before you box yourself in and you have 4 shots left with 30 seconds, which is the kiss of death? Because now you're trying to, number one, make sure your shots are off before the ceasefire, and you cannot accurately hold and rush shots, make good holds in that.
Usually at 2 minutes, I don't care what the conditions are, especially when you're shooting in bigger matches and the pressure is on you trying to win. That's why we're here. At 2 minutes, I've got to make a decision. I mean, it's time to, let's step up. I really don't. I usually want my shots done before 30 seconds are out. At 2 minutes, I'm going to put a Fowler down there, a sighter down there. I'm going to start going, okay. And I know at that point, my expectations of shooting zeros is not there. But the expectation of shooting a nice round group is there, always. And so when I look at it, and now all of a sudden, I watch the conditions. I've watched them. At 2 minutes, I'm going to shoot a Fowler, and it's time to go. And in the next minute, I want to have my group done.
Jeff, do you have any thoughts on the time?
Exactly what Harley was saying. At the 2 minutes thing, you better. Okay, you've got to accept. Okay, well, we're getting a little full value orange. Okay, I'm going to have to eat this. We've got to do it. Okay, hopefully it leads up a little bit. It's not too bad right now, but just like Harley said, we've got to do it. We've just got, and I don't like to be the last 30 seconds. I don't like that, but look here, it's kind of easing up a little bit. Okay, let's get this done. Okay, we start shooting. Okay, it's easing up even more. Let's do this. We got to get them down range. This is what it is. Okay, hopefully after we've made a decision, we're done.
Right.
We're done.
But it should, looking at the flags, we should expect a fairly decent group.
Would you guys agree that for our viewers, it's hard enough to challenge the difficult conditions, but when you add a time constraint where you've waited down, when you get down, you need 4 shots in the last minute or 30 seconds. Now you're battling tough conditions that you need to hold for, but now you're also worried about getting your shots off. So the moral of the story for our viewers is we want to make sure when we know it's a windy day, we want to have at least 2 minutes to have to work through holding, or if we do need to shoot a sighter or two, you want to have enough time to where you don't have time pressure on your back of finishing your group and your match.
Absolutely.
So that gives you.
Because as I said earlier in another video, I said about we're all going to bring skill sets to this game. Whether you've never fired a Benchrest match or you've been seasoned shooting varmints and deer for years. But you have to learn how to run and you have to learn how to pick. Both conditions, because there's just no way in these switchy, rolling around conditions, let alone violent. We're not talking violent condition. We're just talking it's just going green, it's going red. You have to learn how to pick. You have to learn how to run. And when I say run, I don't just mean 5 shots, just put them on paper. I'm talking 5 shots. Look, number one, aim, Number 2, what are the flags doing when I touch the trigger? So, honestly, I know guys talk about bragging and everything and shoot 5 shots in 10, 12 seconds. That's, you do not have time to aim,
Exactly.
run the gun, and look at the flags. But honestly, running in 30 seconds, you should have no problem. If you cannot do that, that's something you have to work on. You don't have to work on.
Exactly.
Great.
You
And
need to get
picking
your skill
is the
set.
other
Exactly.
way. You have to be able to recognize patterns and what's going on. How's my bullet going to perform? And what's the tune of my rifle today? Not tomorrow or the day last week. Today. So if my gun is working, I have no trouble picking. I'll pick through 5 shots through 7 minutes. Okay. But if it's not right, you still have to understand what your gun is doing today, right now, on these conditions, with this weather, what it's doing in Dublin, Georgia, today.
Exactly.
All right, guys, great feedback from 2 of the very best shooters I know, fellow Hall of Fame members, 4-time Super Shoot winner, multiple world record holders. This is another video installment from All Things Benchrest with friends. This will be many more to come.
Yeah, please. Send us some questions.
Yep.
Let's get this done. Let's do it.
Yeah, we want you to please like us, subscribe, and follow us on certainly YouTube, Rumble, and also Instagram, and as we evolve into different social media platforms. But we welcome your comments and feedback, and let us know, what do you guys want us to talk about?
And guys, come out here. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
We want to have some fun.
Right.
Come on out here,
Yep.
guys.
Great
Let's
time.
do this.
All right, guys, thank you so much for your time.